Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Erin Reed Makes. We are live today with a Christmas in July. And before I forget, if you leave a comment either on the live stream or on the recorded version, it's an entry into a rack that I am putting together and also some other prizes because it is all part of a Crafty Christmas in July event. So leave a comment just saying hi, whatever. I mean, you guys do all kinds of chats in the lives anyway, but also if you happen to watch it after the fact, leaving a comment enters you in a chance for winning my rack, and then also just random act of kindness, fun little crafty prize package that I'm putting together of some fun goodies. And then there's some other ones as well. This is a video a week, and this is the first video. It's through the month of July, one a week. Next week, it's going to also, I'm not sure which video is next week. I think it's my card making Wednesday as well. And then the following week is another fun one that's a little bit different. So just kind of changing it up here and there. So there's lots of fun ideas for crafting in July or crafting Christmas. There will be a link of all the other participants that are doing this. If you want to check out their weekly videos, the links to their channel is down below. All right, so a little bit of some fun information. This is the card we are making today. Look how cute this is. So this is a tunnel card. Look at that. Woo-hoo. So it opens up and you have like this little tunnel on the inside. I decided I wanted to change the panels. The green just looked too plain. So we are going to be doing this later on. I found a stamp, and this is not, it's the stamp we're using, but we're going to restamp it because I don't like as much white space. So this is going to get replaced with this kind of floral piece on the side. I don't know. You guys tell me, do you like the green or do you like the floral? I'm not sure. You know, the green is nice and plain and simple, but then the floral looks really pretty because it ties in with the coloring that's going on here. So let's build the card first. What I've done is I've taken some paintables. These are some paintable papers that came from Adorn It, and I will have all the links down below after the video has gone live. So, or once I'm done videoing, I'll gather all the links for everything. So this is a page, and they can cut out to be a 4x6. And so I trimmed this one down so it could have a black mat, which is kind of nice. So this one is right here, Joy to the World. All right. And then the one on the inside here, this one is here. Now I've left a couple that are empty. If you notice, I haven't finished coloring yet because I was going to finish coloring them with you to show you some of the techniques that I used. And also the oopsie that I made and how I fixed it. Because I decided to change gears because the green paper I had didn't go with this big and it was too bright. It just didn't work. So how I went through and that's what I did over here. So well, some changes I'm going to show you, and then show you how I did a little bit of the coloring of the cones that are in here. So that's these pine cones. I left a few so I could show you how I did that. So how do you build a card like this? It seems really difficult, but it's actually not that bad. So first step, let me clear off a few things. And I've gotten started coloring a little bit for this second card. I don't know if I'm going to 100% finish coloring the entire card, just because it's a lot of coloring. It takes a lot of time, but I'll definitely hit some highlights of how I'm doing a few things, and then we'll build it together. Okay, so first step is you need the base of your card, which I don't have. So guess what? I have sheets of paper right here. I had a base. Oh, no, it's the wrong. Does it work? Nope, wrong way. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so standard base to your card, you need a 5.5. I thought I had trimmed all that up. Standard base to your card, here we go. 5.5, fold that in half. Standard A2 size card, that's what I mean, basic card. You want to get your bone folder out, which mine is buried under here, and we will be using it. So it's actually not a bone folder. This is a scoring tool because we need to score a few sections of our card. So first, base of your card. You can make this base any color you want. And if you notice on the inside of my card, I've actually made the little tunnel part black. So you can make that whatever you want as well. You can do the whole thing white and color it or whatever you want to do. So start out with a normal card. Second, you take a black sheet of paper. Now, this is a perfect mat for the inside of your cards. So it's 8.25. No, sorry, hang on. I have it all written here. Yeah, so this is going to be 8.25 by 5.25. So it's, instead of being 8.5 by 5.5, you're going to go down by 1/4 of an inch on all sides, right? From here, fold this in half. Yeah, it's inside here. And fold this in half. There we go. All right, so This is where the scoring happens. This is the easiest way to do it. Put this into your whatever scoring system you want to use. Am I on camera? There I am. No, I'm on camera. Oh, good morning, everybody. Hey. Oh, so we got Greece. We've got Ohio. We've got India. Man, we got a whole UK. We're international this morning. I love that. For some of you, it's not morning, though. Good evening. All right. So we've got 2 inches, and then we are going to score along that 2-inch mark. Now, you could make this section of the card the exact same dimensions, which I've seen. I did not come up with this card. I just tweaked it to the way I liked it. But making a tunnel card is not anything brand spanking new. So what I did is that I wanted my mat, I wanted my pop-up part, the tunnel part, to be like a mat in the card. But you could make it the exact same dimensions. So just cut another 8.5 by 11, you know, the other half. So you could use like the other half of this sheet or whatever color you wanted to make for your tunnel. And then still you can do the 2 inches cut and then fold in half. So it works for whatever size you want to work with is the point. Okay. So now we're going to come in. I scored 2 inches on this side. I'm going to score 2 inches from the edge on this side. Don't ask me what those measurements are because I'm not going to figure that out. That's just crazy business. That'd be a lot of, I mean, seriously, that would be, well, the first one's easy because the first one's at 2 inches, but then the second one, actually, it's not. It's actually really easy. It's 6 inches. So it's 2 and 6. It'd be really cool if it's, yeah, it's 2, 4, 6. Ta-da! The way that it's all measured out. Talk about simple. Is it really 2, 4, 6? 2, 4, and I thought it was going to be like 1 3/4, or you know, not 1 3/4, but the next one. But yeah, no, it makes sense because they're all 2 inches apart. Look how stinking easy that is. 2 inches all the way across. How much simpler? I didn't even try to do that. It worked. Oh, Minnesota, Arizona. Lots of fun people here today. Very cool. Love it. So heads up, next Wednesday, there is going to be even some more fun happening next Wednesday. The live event next Wednesday has a giveaway within the event itself. There's a lot of giveaways happening this month. There is the Crafting in July. There is the Crafting Christmas in July, or Christmas, whatever it's called. The event we're doing right now. There's Crafty Life is sponsoring it. She's the one who organized the whole thing. Then I have another one that's starting on Monday from European Paper Crafters, and there's prizes with that. And then there's another one specifically for the video that's a live video next Wednesday because it's sponsored by a company and they're doing a giveaway. So there's lots of fun stuff. If you just start watching my channel this month, there's prizes galore. Let me tell you, it's everywhere, which is so much fun. And everything, almost every video this month is going to be something about Christmas. Not all of them, but some of them. All right. So here you have your little piece, right? And this becomes the little pop-up that comes in the center. So you're starting to see the beginning of it right here. So now we got to do the oval. Now, what if you don't have an oval and you're done with your paper cutter, by the way? Yay. Oh, I take that back. You're almost done with your paper cutter. Now, what did I do with the die? There it is. Buried under all my pins. Okay, so if you don't have an oval, what can you do? You can use any shape you want. You can do a circle. You can just cut out a square. You could actually just go ahead and cut out a rectangle or a square if you wanted to. I personally like the oval because it kind of does a little pop, and I can see a little bit more of what I've done in terms of my coloring. So even though when this lays flat, you only see a certain amount, when you pop it up, you can see more of what you've done, which I think is really pretty. All right, so now we got to cut that thing out. Pull out my die cut. I don't quite have this. Thought I had everything all lined up. So there's really only one special cut you need in this whole thing. Now, what else could you put in the center of this? Well, you could do any stamped image. You could do any of what I would call those project life cards. Those would all look really cool inside of there. I store it with the dies inside on my little tray that I have just next to my desk. And then it's put away. And if I do that every time, then I'm not going, where are my dies and where's the other one? I figured out that's my best way of making sure everything together. And I just use a little bit of washi tape and I just eyeballed it. And I eyeballed it. And I should have said this as I was doing it. But that's why I scored the center. You need to score the center anyway. But if you score the center and then lay your oval down, you just kind of center it from side to side and then from top to bottom. And pretty much, if you do it with your eyes, it'll line up. And there's your oval. Ta-da! Okay, so now you've got your card right here. The next step is that you're going to take your element that you are going to color. So we are going to do a little bit of coloring on this first. That way I'm not losing my space. But I want to show you guys a little bit about how we're going to color this. So this goes right here. Well, if I put this Christmas part way up in the corner, you're going to cut off part of it. Now, I know when we fold it, you're going to get to see part of it more, but I really want that Christmas. So this card is a little different. The original one I did, I just put it smack in the middle because the sentiment was in the middle. It worked perfectly, but I didn't want to do the same sentiment on both cards. I wanted to use another piece from that paintable sheet, so I'm amending it. And I might have to trim off a tiny bit more from the bottom of this card just to make sure it fits, because I don't want to see it poking out the bottom here, right? So you have to kind of finagle. Actually, I think I trimmed it just right. So there it is. It's going to fit right in there, just like that. Like that, right? So I'm going to put a little bit, because we can color this on the page. I don't want to put this on too tight yet, because I want to make sure that I have this fitting right where I want to. I think I got my Christmas. I'm going to move it a tiny bit down. I'm just using my Xyron adhesive to line it up. I don't want to have it poking out the side here. So I just want to have it just there. And then look at the sides. Is everything lined up? And yes, we are. And then now I can push that down. So whatever you want to put on the back. Another option. So this is another option. You can take your card and before you fold it right here, stamp an image on the inside of your card before you do the fold. So, and you can take your oval right here, when you line it up, do a tiny little pencil drawing right in here, pick it up, and that's what you know is your center for your oval, right? So that gives you like the window. But you can go a little off, like look, there's stuff that's going to be off. There's stuff when it lays down, but when you fold it up, you can still see some stuff. So it's okay if it goes a little bit off, but whatever your main sentiment is, keep that kind of in the focal center, which is why I had to shift this. So it really all works. A picture might be hard because this is, and I don't want to fold this yet because I want to finish coloring it. This will get folded. So this picture in the back, this drawing, it is, if you notice, it is getting folded here. So it's not as noticeable because it's there. And if you just did stamping on the back of the card, like on this back part cardstock, it wouldn't be that bad. And then just line the front with some paper, especially if you're going to do Copic marking and it goes through the paper. Just make sure you line it up. Okay, so a little bit of some coloring here, and then we'll put this on. I'm mostly just going to color anything, like for instance, the flower is getting stuck off, and I want to do all this stuff, and then I'll probably come back later on. I'm sorry, my phone just went off. No good, no good. Okay, so, don't you love my phone ring though? You could do a wallet-sized photo. Yeah, but even if it was in the center, the photo would be folded in half. So as long as you're okay with the photo being folded in half, you could do that. Totally true. Okay, so let's do a little bit of coloring. All of my little berries here, I want to color. And I have picked out, these are all my Arteza pens. So I'm just coming in and I'm coloring with, this is a very faint, this one's apricot. I just pick colors that the tones, you know, I didn't go with any super, super bright tones except for the yellow, but to me, yellow goes with anything. So I didn't want to go anything super bright. Should have colored a little bit more of this for you guys so you guys could see how to build the card, but I ran out of time. I got most of the other coloring done. And then it was time to go to bed. And I got a little more coloring done this morning, but you know, life happens. All right, so just coloring. I will go in and I think I can finish those guys later. Oh, no, I think that's going to be off the card. Yeah. Got to finish these little guys too. So I decided to use my brush pens, these are water pens, versus Copics, mostly because I have a bigger range of colors. So I could pick a better coloration. Plus, this is a watercolor paper. So these brush pens are a watercolor pen. It's like having watercolor in a pen form. And it just blends better on this paper. It doesn't soak through and stuff. So that's how I'm doing it. All right, these little guys right here are leaves. I think leaves. I don't know. What are we going to call these? I think they're little stemmy things. You can do what you want. Let's go through and do the pine cones first because those are definitely, yeah, I can color those after, but the three pine cones I can't. So I already pulled all my browns. I have two browns. So I have a lighter and I have a darker brown. So what I do is I go through and I do the darker brown first. So I just kind of come in and I color, and I just do my best guess. Whatever looks like it should be the bottom of the pine cone or it looks like it should be the inside of the pine cone, I color. And sometimes it's very hard to tell. So I just start alternating the little sections of the pine cone and hope for the best. Because you want to have it be in a couple of different colors. If you just colored it all one color, it would look too flat. So this one's a little easier. You can see that there's a little bit of a section. I don't know if you guys can see that 'cause it's kind of far away from the camera. But there's another little section to the pine cone that has like another little, an edge, a lip, I guess is the best way to describe it. So I'm just coming in and coloring, and I'm not trying to be either super perfect here too. And I'll show you why in a minute. So we're going to be doing a lighter color. And the nice thing about like Copics or watercolors is you can color over. And you can go in and you can do a couple of different colors. So there's that. And then I think I have to do part of this pine cone too. Yes, because most of that gets covered up. I keep thinking this is like, oh, it's right in the center. Half this is not going to be seen. Oh, yes, it will. So again, for those of you who jumped on after, this video is part of Heather's Crafty Lifestyles Crafting Christmas in July. Crafty, I had it written down somewhere. I have it as a link somewhere. And if you leave a comment on this live video, or if you leave a comment on the after the video has gone live, it is a chance to win a prize pack from me, a crafty little prize pack. Some fun goodies inside of there. And also there's some other prizes that are being offered by Heather herself. So leaving a comment also leaves you a chance to win a prize pack from her. So there's some fun stuff. And there's a whole series of us that are doing this crafting in July. And I will leave the links for all of them. I didn't get them all organized in time. All right, so now I'm going to take my lighter color. That was the darker color. And I think these pine cones will be fine. I can do those later. All right, so then you're going to go through. And I just start coloring over top the whole thing because it's going to pick up all those other colors. Was this the right color? Yeah, it must have been because there's no other gray one up here or brown one up here. Seems like this is the wrong color. It is the wrong color. Oops. All right, I had a different brown. Where'd my brown go? I had all my browns laying out. Did it vanish? Well, because look, on this one, it doesn't mean that I'm doing it wrong, but I like these color tones better. That's not the right brown. But there's no other brown here. Did I put it away? Oh, no. Okay, well, I have all my colors right here. Let's see if I can match. This doesn't look right. Maybe I put it away by accident. Oh, you know what? I might have. That's right. I see one right here. That's it. I put it away. Go figure. All right, so back to the original thought. Guess what? You can color over. It's amazing. All right, so it's going to be a little bit of a different tone now since I'm coloring over another color. Basically, I'm just coming in because these are so tiny. There's no way I'm going to get in and get every little thing. But the tip on these is so small that you really can get into everything. And then you give yourself a two-tone. It's more obvious on this larger pine cone. There we go. Where did I get the paintable pages from? Oh, they are from Adorn It. I will put the link down below So Adorn It makes these paintable pages. This is the only Christmassy one that's not cutesy, what I would call cutesy. This is one that's got a lot of, let me show you the beginning one. This is the full page. You get 6 in the page, and they're just really pretty. They're really gorgeous. There's a lot of different paintables that are out there, and this is like the Floral. Holiday Cheer is what it's called. I'll put the link down below for you guys so you guys can get it. But I think they're pretty, and they're easy. They're already stamped. They already have a sentiment. It's just you got to color it in. It's like half the hard work is already done for you. And it's some fine type, really fine coloring, but it's one of those you can do whatever you want. You could use markers on these. You could use brush pens on these. You can use pencils, colored pencils on these. You could do true watercoloring on these if you wanted to. So many options. So as you can see, I'm just kind of coming in. These pine cones overlap here, and I'm just making sure I get all those little edges of the pine cones. And if you have 2 tones, it really does make the pine cone look a little more dimensional. Kind of making sure I don't have any white bits that are showing. So, yeah. Ta-da! Looks very pine cone-ish. Okay, and the stem the pine cone is on, it's on this kind of stem. I'm going to do it in a lighter color. So some of this is going to be just to your whimsy. You know what I think these things are? They're like those, I always think about the wind in the willows. You see them at the side of a pond, and they always bat up against each other. I don't know. There's probably some sort of really fancy name, but maybe it's willows. No, it's not a willow tree, but you get my point. All right, now there's a whole bunch of these little stemmy things that are back here. And I've pulled out 3 greens. I went with a very muted tone palette for this. So I've picked out 3 greens, and all I'm going to do, and I do this with the leaves as well, whenever I do leaves, I just randomly doing a few, picking random ones. If I can see that there's a top and a bottom to it, then I'm going to go with it. And then I'll change, so they're not all exactly the same color. So I'll just start kind of alternating the tones. And so there's enough of that one. And then I'll pick another color. And I'll come in and I'll do another color. And just start, randomly doing some of the stems and just having fun picking out different colors. Go down here as well. This one I'll keep all the same because they're attached. It's not different viney things that are coming off of it. And then I have this one. I'll find out if it's the same color or not. No, different color. So I just picked colors that were kind of similar in tone, but not identical. They went well together, but not bright. So just lightly go over them. I probably mixed and matched a few different stems. I will survive. It'll be fine. So there we go. And so it's starting to come together. I like this. I think there's, maybe you guys have names of those. Cattails. Yes, cattails. Thank you. Okay. Brush pens. These are Arteza brush pens. They come in this massive kit. I mean, here you can see this is part of the browns and some of the greens and the grays. This is one tray of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's got 96 pens in it, and I want to say it was like $60. And I'm loving it because I get so many color options, and it's just so pretty. All right, so I'm going to take my lighter of my 2 pens, and I'm going to color in this cattail, if that's what it is, but that's what I can do. And then I did have that other one. It was that funny looking here. It was this one. I think I'm going to pull in, and I will do this guy in this color and add a little bit of this tone into this one as well. So you can really brush over. And the other thing about these pens, if you double over with them, they get darker. So one pass through is a certain color, another pass through, and it gets darker. So you can add tone on tone. It's very cool that way. So obviously these other pine cones are going to be done the same way. This green branch, I will just pick a color. Maybe it was a leaf that was there before. I don't know. So just picking on camera. Oh, yeah, I'm on camera. So it's very therapeutic. You could take these and you could color them all, and then you could use them for something else down the line. So just adding all these tones of colors looks really pretty. All right, so let's get to the flower. So the flower itself, I originally picked out a very dark tone, which is what I did on this flower. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm liking that dark of a tone. So I think I'm only going to do a tiny bit of that color and then lighten it up with everything else. I'm going to start off with the lightest color in the center, which is this kind of pinky tone. I decided to go with a pinky. I just think it looked pretty, like a pinky, purple, red. Yes, you can actually just color with them if you don't want to color, but it has that watercolor effect. They're really cool. I'm enjoying them. It's a very, very fun thing to get. Okay, then I'm going to go in just with a tiny bit of the darker color. Not too much. And I'm just kind of hitting some spots. I don't want to fully color in. So if you notice, I'm just kind of being random about it. And then we're going to fill it in with this other one. Oh, did I flip them? Oh, I did. Did I? Oh, no, I can't tell. Is this one darker? I got to do my test again. I lost my tip here. I'll do it on this one. Sometimes I look at the backs. That's definitely the lighter one. I think I've got the right color. Oh, I did. I flipped them. Okay. Well, that's okay. I dropped my pen. So which one do I have? I've got the darker one, so I'm not going to use that. So let's find a lighter one that will work, because I just felt like that was just too dark last time I did it. So look at all the colors that I get to choose from. I mean, it's a huge multitude of these pinky tones. So I want to find another pink that's not going to look so dark next to it. That's too bright. Nope, too purple. I had this all figured out and I put it all. It's like, I've got these colors figured out. It's too bright. You know what? I have the colors that I picked from that. Maybe one of those will look better. Maybe I'll just use this. I'll just use this color the whole way through. I can pick a lighter one here. This is the one I originally had kind of pulled out. We'll try that. Okay. I have a plan now. So I'm using this, coming in and coloring. Now, on some of these, it's got these little ridges right here. Sorry, I kind of went completely off kilter on that because I changed my mind on my colors. It's a little bit wonky in the middle. I might come back and add some more color. I can't change the middle now. I should have gone with the lightest color, but I changed my mind about what the lightest color was going to be. Now, I got to be careful not to color any of those little edges, because that's going to be the lightest color I'm going to do here. So just pick all these little petals here, brush through. You can do big brush strokes. You can do normal little brush strokes. Just really have fun with it. It's kind of very pretty. These little coloring, these little paintables are a colorist's dream. I mean, you take them on the airplane with you while you're traveling, in the car, as long as you're not super bumpy. It'd be great to take a few pens with you, or markers or something, or pencils, and color them in and then use them on a future project. It'd be great. So I'm just coloring in all the petals here. Oops, I should have left that one. Okay, so I think I've done a good smattering. The rest of it I'm going to keep, and I'm going to do it with a lighter tone. Yeah, I use the alcohol markers too. Yeah, and I mix them in, the Arteza ones. I mix them in with the my other brands. So I will not be too specific about what brand I use. I will just pull out the color I need. So if it happens to be an Arteza marker mixed with the Copic, it works. So I'm just taking the lighter color. Yeah, see, look, this was really dark. So I just lightened it up a bit. And I'm just hitting those edges. If you notice, I'm kind of going over the whole thing again to blend the color. I kind of bring in a little bit here too. Just hit all those little edges. Not sure if I'm 100% liking the center of my flower now because I changed my colors on myself, but too late. I'm not sure if I'm going to redo this entire card because of that. Doesn't look bad. Could be worse. So there we go. That's kind of the beginning. I'll finish doing this later. I don't want to bore you guys with just color, 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 color. I didn't want to do that. You could also fill in this Christmas greetings. I did that on the front of my card. I did fill in the joy. And so I could always go back and fill that in as well if I wanted to. But I wanted to show you guys how to finish the rest of the card. Okay, so you have a side that it goes down. You want it to where it goes up, right? So this is going to plant itself right here. And I will probably end up ripping this off later and filling in the rest of the colors because I can't color through this. So just don't worry about it. So you're only seeing a little portion of that flower. All right, so lay this down nice and flat. Get it centered exactly where you want it to. Lift up this flap and add the adhesive to this flap. Get as close to the edges as possible. Make sure you're lined up to where you want to be. And just this flap gets colored. And make sure you're lined up right where the center is. So this fold that comes up is lined up with your center fold. Then you flip this up. Add your adhesive and fold down. Just like that. Ta-da! All right, and then this is where you need your scoring thing again. And it's just because it makes life easier when you're doing the card. Line this back up in the center. Now, the black paper and the white background are already scored, but my Christmas greeting is not scored. So now you're going to come in and just rescore on top of all of it, reinforcing. And if you want, like, line it up, it's at 4 1/4. Make sure that your card is being folded at the 4 1/4. Normally, you're 100% done with all your coloring at this point, so you don't need to worry about the fact that you're going over something that you'd want to color later. But I'm trying to speed this for you guys because we're already a half an hour in. It's crazy business how fast that goes. And then just really push down. Now, I notice, like, it's a little bit open, but I will say that I kind of sat and had, like, my tape runner on it. The more that it kind of squishes down, the more it's going to fold down. So it'll work. There goes that. All right, so the next part is, where is my mat? Oh, there it is. Now, the cool thing is when I first cut, see, look how pretty. Ta-da! There it is. So easy, right? Just pop. But you have to finish coloring that, which I should have done ahead of time. I'm so sorry about that. All right, so when I originally cut this sheet of paper, so this width is, I have it written down, 5 1/4 right here, and this was 8 1/4. This was a leftover bit that was left out of the 12 by 12 sheet of paper. If you have a 8.5 by 11, or if you have an 8.5 by 11 printer paper that's black, you can use that, what I call printer size paper. You could use that. But this was originally 12 inches, and I already cut. I did the 5 1/4 this way, and this little piece was left over. So guess what? It's going to go as the mat on the front of my card to tie in the black. So when I cut this sheet down, it's just this little tiny bit of a mat. Now, I'm not liking the fact I need to trim a tiny bit more, and it's okay if a little bit gets cut off. I want to see a little bit more on the side, so I'm just going to, I don't want to cut this side because it says for you, but I'm just going to try a little more of a smidgen so it fits better. And it looks a little more even. There we go. Just that tiny extra bit more made a huge difference. And the last thing is that I originally had, and if you look on this card, I had put green panels on the outside. I like that green. It was a green. I just like that pop of that green on the front. Totally your call. You could leave it black. You don't have to do anything, but I liked the 3 colors. So we're going to do that. We're going to map the 3 together. And then I will finish coloring this after, and I will post a video of the finished cards on my Facebook and Instagram, so you guys can see those there. And both my Facebook and Instagram are Erin Reed Makes. So it's just search on Facebook, Erin Reed Makes, and search Instagram, Erin Reed Makes. It's pretty easy. All social media is the same. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what the cards look like. And then I'm going to show you my trick. I still didn't put that on right. This top one is not quite lined up centered. Still not centered. So either one of my papers is not cut right, or I keep just screwing it up. There we go. That's better. So I just like that little double mat. I just think it really sets it off. And I have a whole bunch of this green paper because a friend of mine, she stopped. She was like, I'm not doing any stamping or card making or scrapbooking. Do you want my paper? I was like, okay. So literally, you got to see this. Sorry, it was just off the side. Already cut. Look how many sheets. It's crazy. Isn't that nuts? There were so many sheets of this paper. It was bonkers. So I have no idea what brand it is or what color it is because she dropped it off about 4 days ago. And I'm sitting here staring at all this green cardstock going, I should use that. It's a very smooth green cardstock. And it came with a bunch of Stampin' Up stuff. So my guess is this is a Stampin' Up brand of paper. But heck if I know what the color is, truly. I have no idea. But you got to see the card. She did have one, like she had a whole bunch of stuff pre-made and all organized and all cut. And she had a bunch of stuff stamped. So this is her little card that she made. I thought it was adorable. I just love the little googly eyes on the little crab. So cute. So I think this was one of her first cards. She did a very, very cute job. I don't know if like she planned the card or what, but it was just adorable. But she never finished it. I said, how long have you had all this stuff? She goes, yeah, about 15 years. So it's been a while. I don't even know if you can get that color of green anymore, but it is a very pretty color, which is why I've been dying to use it. It's gorgeous. Okay, so here is that card. Now, I wanted to show you how you can fix a boo-boo, and then we're going to show you the alternate idea I have for the inside of this. So originally, and this is before I picked the green background and decided to blend that in with this card, I had this really lime green color, and I was like, ugh, that's just too much. I'm not liking it. It's not worth, just not going there anymore. So I changed tactics, and I'm trying to find which one is my lighter color. Okay, there we go. I always test them because sometimes I think, oh, well, that's got to be the lighter one, and then it's not. Just double check again. Yep. So I was not fond of these big, bright colors of leaves. So I'm just going over it. Plain and simple. It's making the leaves a little darker. Totally fine. So I'm just going back over these leaves to make them a new color because why not? Now, for these newer leaves that I've never done, just come in. And they might be a little bit of a different shade. Totally cool. Not all leaves are exactly the same shade. And within a leaf, if you've got darker sections or lighter sections, totally cool as well, because leaves are not all the same. So there it is. And then I will take this little section and then just kind of run it down the middle. This is the darker color. And I will run that right down the middle and give it a little bit of a darker hue, just a little bit of a distinction. So that's how I do my leaves. The berries, I had this one. Now I've picked up all these other colors and I can't remember what was what. No. Yeah. So I picked out 2 shades. Again, I'm not going to bore you guys with lots and lots of coloring, but you get the idea. So very similar shades. There is definitely one that's darker. And going by the end of the pens, I'm picking the lighter one. So the first thing I did is I went through and I just colored in all of the berry. Just going in, making sure you get all the way to the edges. And I didn't want these super, super, super red. I liked the fact that they had a little bit of a peachy, orangey look. I just thought it looked a little, well, it's a little different, a little fun, but it still is very red. All right, so the last little berry. All right, now you can always go back. Like I said, you can add color. So I can go in with the same color tone and add more color to the center, right where it's got that extra bit of a stamp, and it will definitely color in and make a darker tone. Or you can go in with a darker one and really accentuate the darker section. right in here and just kind of add to that color right in there. And that's how I did all the berries. So in the stamp itself, it already has kind of that little spot that's dark. I just added to that area, and that's how you get some of the color tone difference on the berries. And it was really, really simple. Just picking a couple of different tones. And then for the stems, I just alternated like I did on the other card between the darker and the lighter tones. And for that, I had already done all the stems in these big bright colors. And so I went back over them with the green. And so you might see little hints of that bright tone in there. You know what? I'm totally fine with that. It just adds a little something different into that. So that is the front of that card. And then it's the debate on this side. So I found a stamp. Get that out. This is a heartfelt creation stamp. And it's this beautiful, you kind of see me playing around with it. I don't know why I have this paper here. It's stupid. You see me kind of playing around. You've seen it on here. So I decided to go ahead and turn it into a fun swirl. So I pulled out my Misty for this. Originally, I put both of the sheets down because the stamp fit, but there's too much white space. So I was like, no, I'm going to do it so I can see almost the entire, so I'm going to push this more in the center, almost the entire swirl kind of smack in the center of it. And unfortunately, I can't magnetize it down too much, but it's not being staticky, so it's working just fine. Now, where did I place my ink? Been moving everything around. Now I can't find. There it is. Found my ink and all the paper's falling to the ground now. All right, so stamp this up. I wanted to find something that I really liked that went well with what was already on the paper. So I have all these Heartfelt Creation stamps I never use. So bad about that. And then there it is. So that is a little piece that will go there. So you tell me, do you guys like the green, just plain stitch green, or do you like the floral? Maybe I'll keep one of each. A coffee break bookmark. Not quite sure what you're saying. You like to stamp something, then you color it as a bookmark? I don't know what a coffee break bookmark is. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one real fast. Let's stamp this guy up. Children are starting to emerge in the house. My daughter is staring at me from the stairs. Hi, Catherine.
Can I say hi?
Yeah, Morgan, you can say hi.
Okay, I have a thing. I think with like coffee break bookmark, or maybe a bookmark that says coffee break on it.
It's possible. It could be a bookmark that says coffee break on it. That seems like a logical explanation. Very true. Okay, so now I've got these two pieces. Catherine, you want to say hi? No, she's not there yet. All right, so this is what I was thinking that this card could be. Oh, how about a layer of green under the stamped image? So yes, you could do that. And here is the problem that I'm confronting with that. I'm starting to get a lot of layers right in the beginning, right here. Totally could do that. And that was what my gut instinct was telling me to do. But because we have paper, black, green, and then the folded part, it all goes right here. It makes it very, very, very thick. Now, if you don't have a problem with that, because the rest of the card only has the background and this card. So this has got like triple the layers already without adding another sheet of paper to it. So it's kind of a pick your poison, what's the better idea? So I'm debating about what to do, and I might change it before I do the final image that I put up on my Facebook and Instagram. But this is where I thought maybe I'd just keep one of each. I mean, I thought that looked kind of pretty. And then obviously we're going to color this. This is why I had that sheet of paper, because I was going to color these. And I didn't want to get this all gross. See, look at that. I'm thinking ahead. All right, so I already have all the green tones that I want to use. They're right here. So I'm going to pull all the greens. So I was doing a mix between the green and the red. And I'm only going to do one of these swirls with you because they're all the same. And then I might go through, because you know, guys, I love my stitching, but it's going to hit right on the edge. So maybe I'll just keep it plain. I'm not sure. There was lots of, I love this idea and I want to go with it, but there was some little iffies and buts, and I didn't know where to finish it. So just coloring my leaf. And I'm going to finish the swirl, but I want to finish doing the leaf first because we're going to come in with a second tone on this. This is why I have a sheet of paper. So if I go off, no big deal. And I just have copy paper underneath as kind of like my catch mat. So just coloring these in. Quick and easy. I was also thinking of something that was kind of foiled on the inside. I was going a lot of different directions with that. But I like the stamped image, I think is the best. Now I'm going to take a darker color and I'm just going to do a little kind of a right in the center, right where it's darker. And just kind of go over a little bit of that darker section with the darker color. Just hitting a little bit to those things right there. And then also coming in and doing the swirl. The swirl that comes off. So I got to follow it. And then where does this one go? This one comes in, I don't know if this one follows. Okay, well, one of the two of these little swirls coming from here comes down here. This is where a brush pen's really nice because you can definitely get that really nice edge to that swirl. And so then there's, so either this one comes into here, this one, or this one comes in here. One of them comes into there, so it all works. Now, what do I want to do with the other swirls? I was debating about the colors that I wanted to do with them. And initially, where was I? I had one where I was playing with it. I was doing it with some reds in there, and I thought that looked really pretty. So I think I'm going to stick with that. It's those reddish colors, and it's that darker red. And I was doing the darker red for some, or the kind of what I was doing the berries with. So it's still sticking, I'm rubbing my hand against there. It's still sticking with the same kind of tones. So I'm going to do some of the swirls in the red tone and then some of the swirls in the lighter tone. Both the colors I was using with the berries. Oops, I went a little off. So there's that. And I can do this one right here. And because I don't have, there might have been another leaf right there, but it's not on there, so I'm going to count it as a red one. And then follow it. Oops, one more. There we go. Just adding some other color to it. A little something different. And then that will go there. Just like that. And then this one will go here. What you got, Catherine? All right, can you wait? Do it for that in a minute. Can you wait for a second? Awesome. Thank you, honey. All right, so that is where that is. Just something kind of different. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this guy in. So I was kind of avoiding doing too many layers of colors on the inside of, not colors, too many layers of papers on the inside just because I didn't want to mess that up. And then this one will go over here. So there we go. Just like that. So this is one version, and I just got to finish coloring it, but you will get to see that on my finished product. And then here is the other one. Again, I'll finish that with the stamped, and then this one's got the green on the inside, which I'm still debating what I want to do in there. It might get changed to stamped image. It might get changed to the other thing. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. My kids are getting a little impatient, I think. No. It's summer. Well, no, Morgan's playing over on a computer. He's fine. But we have more fun plans to do. Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out my Christmas in July tunnel fun fold card. Really cool. This one's almost done, but you get the idea. Something a little different, a little pretty. And I really appreciate, guys, you sticking around and being here and seeing all these cards. Don't forget, leaving a comment on this video or live or after the fact is a chance for you to enter into the Crafty Christmas in July video hop. I will have all the links for all the other people down below, along with all supplies. And next Wednesday, there's another live video with a giveaway that's specifically for that video from a brand new stamp company called Ida Rose. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, really quick question. Could I stamp the green? Yes, I probably could. I haven't tried that yet. So I'm going to kind of play with it after the fact. And I could come in and try that stamping on the green image. So I just need to get going because the day is getting a little long and time to move on. But I'll have all the finished cards of what I'm going to be doing, and they'll be up on my Facebook and Instagram, so you guys can check them out there. Bye, everybody.
Bye.